You actually don't understand the power of the ocean, the power of nature. It's just incredible. You know, this there I was walking around completely devastated homes that were just stumps, and right behind that is a giant ship washed up to the side of a mountain. It looked like Noah's Ark. It was. I still to this day can't believe how that thing got there. To have seen that happening, to have been there and have witnessed that must have just been like, it would have been hell on earth. It was just absolutely heartbreaking to picture, envisage what actually happened on that terrible morning. I met people that had lost everything, that had still had their families, and have been moved to higher ground, to homes called transitional homes that the government's already built for them. And they were only meant to last for about a year. And these people are living in 20 square metres, 9 people living in 20 square metres. It's terrible. We want to make a difference, and we're going to do everything we can to make that difference. And what they need is housing. They need homes over these poor people's heads. The global issue of homelessness is almost beyond comprehension. If you consider that there's 1 billion people that don't have a roof over their heads, that means that roughly there's a requirement of 250 million homes that are needed just so people can live with dignity like you and I do. It's beyond shocking. You have a situation where that's growing daily, that no matter what happens, we won't be able to keep up with that. My epiphany moment was to understand that there is a possibility of using man's waste and creating homes for the poor that are affordable to the degree where governments and foundations can make a huge difference. The problem is global. The problem is in the rivers, in the estuaries, in the anywhere where there's a water table where plastic gets into. Plastic will slowly but surely decompose, but not ultimately. It will break down into smaller and smaller particles, and that's bad. The smaller the particle, the more it gets into our food chain. But there's been pollution in the oceans for eons. I used to surfing in Sydney in the early 70s, and there was sewage going right out amongst the surf breaks. So it's nothing new. But what's new is the amount of man's waste actually that has entered into the oceans over the last 20 or 30 years, and the damage it's doing. There's a photograph of a guy surfing in Indonesia, in the Mentawais, which is a pristine, beautiful area off the coast of Sumatra. And the photograph of the Indonesian surfer pulling into a tube, and the tube is actually full of rubbish, full of debris, plastic rubbish. We can't demonise plastic. We have to demonise the misuse of the disposal of plastic. And we have to educate the third world on the best ways to do that. And we have to engage all of the multinational companies to recycle more of the plastic, and there needs to be a use for more of that plastic. When I sat in front of this young couple and a baby crying with flies all over it, living on the dump, I realised that whilst they're doing a good thing and they're taking the waste and it's turning into other products, they don't even have a home over their head, a roof over their head. And it's the tragedy of that, the lack of dignity that they have, the hopelessness that they're never going to be able to have anything better, and the lack of support that the government of these countries can give, because the typical way in which to build homes is too expensive to actually provide homes for these people. And there's so many of them that there has to be another solution. And so it was almost like a little light went off in my head that why can't we use this waste that these people are collecting and turn it into houses that maybe ultimately will put a roof over their heads. NevHouse is committed in its first year to manufacture 70,000 homes. Where are they going to go? We have demand in Papua New Guinea. We're working with the government there and with some landowner groups. There's a requirement of 40,000 homes, not for the poor, but for the workers in Warmor's and around the area. We've got demand in Tacloban City, we've got demand in Indonesia. So our first bit, our first endeavour is to actually provide 70,000 homes in the first year. Like I said, it's not even scratching the surface. It's almost embarrassing. That's an incredible amount of homes. If we achieve that goal, amazing, but it's nothing. We need global support. So how do we solve the global homelessness crisis? We engage the world. We engage people that have a passion to make a difference, and there's plenty of them. We want to make a difference, and we're going to do everything we can to make that difference.